Hi, I'm Jonny, and this is my brother Matt, and we're from Brothers Make. And today on the Triton YouTube channel, we're going to be making a tool organisation board.
So Triton have asked us to come up with a bit of a showpiece that they can display some of their tools, but also have it really flexible so that this can chop and change whenever necessary.
So we've come up with a nice simple design for this, with the middle section being shelving and cubbies, and the two outer sections being made from pegboard.
Let's get started.
You've just seen us rip our plywood down to 75mm on the table saw, so that's going to make up the majority of the frame that's going to be attached to that backboard. So to attach these, we're going to go for pocket holes using our Triton T6 pocket hole jig. So this jig is perfect for this kind of application because we've got so many pocket holes to drill. If you want to learn a little bit more on how to use it and set it up, we've done an entire video on this. Check out the link in the description below.
Okay, so we're making good progress on the toolboard. This is where we're at so far. You've seen us cut all of the outside perimeter pieces, and we use the pegboards themselves to work out where those two internal dividers are going to go, just to make sure they're in exactly the right position. So the next job we've got is to cut the material for the shelves in that middle section. Now, the bottom shelf of those is going to be split into 6, and that's just ready for holding screws and things like that.
After that, it's just a case of ripping down a little bit more plywood, and that is just going to sit behind the pegboard just to make sure there's enough space behind it.
we've got all that pegboard finally attached, and those little spaces behind have made that rock solid. We've also done all of the sanding around the outside, which has flushed all of the pocket hole plugs up. Next thing we need to do is to edge band the entire thing.
So you've just seen us rip down a load of thin strips of oak, and that's going to be used as our edge banding. There are quite a few burn marks on these though, so we probably need a new table saw blade, but we're just going to run these through our thicknesser just to save a lot of time on sanding. We're then going to get these attached to the front face and give it one final sand. Okay, so we just attached the rest of that edge banding with pins and wood glue. We also did some on the back face as well. That's just to cover up that edge grain plywood, and it also just gives it a nice sort of framed look.
So before we added the finish, we needed to make sure we have a really secure way of mounting this onto the wall. It's pretty big, so it weighs a ton, so we need to make sure it's super secure and it doesn't fall off. So we've opted for a pair of French cleats. The way that a French cleat works is that you cut an opposing 45-degree angle. These then meet together on the back of the unit, and that provides a really secure way of hanging it up on the wall.
So once those cleats were attached, we gave everything one final sand and then finished it off with some spray varnish.
Right, so as you can probably tell, this thing's a little bit too big for our workshop, so let's take it up to Triton and get it filled up with tools.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yeah.